Hey, welcome to the Horror Syndicate Discourse. This is Tuesday night, the throwdown. No, that's stupid. Anyway, we got a fun show tonight. Got a lot of stuff we're going to do. Something kind of different. I think this was out of the brain of Mr. Seth T. Miller. Remember, T is for Thaddeus. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about not just five, some of our favorite just moments in horror, some of our favorite scenes. I just picked some moments, and I've got a special one that is not mine. It's from one of our viewers, a very special lady. You know. Anyway, so we're gonna do that, but first I'm going to I got to talk about this because he's a good friend of the show. But Never Hike in the Snow or Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone 2 is funding currently on Indiegogo. And you can see there, that's a huge ass goal. I didn't realize, but they already made $41,000. You can get movies, posters, all kinds of, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, Tom Matthews is back. I'm not going to say his last name, but Vince has been running like every day for like 2 months trying to get back in Jason's shape. And Andrew Kyle from the first movie's back. So this should wrap up the trilogy, I believe. You can get all three of them on Blu-ray. So check it out. I will drop the link in the comments for anybody who is interested in checking that out or getting a copy of Never Hike Alone Part 2 or any of the ones that you missed. There's the link. It's going to pop up. Let us know how you're doing tonight. We always want to hear from our followers and find out who's watching and where you're watching from. You're watching from YouTube, Facebook. Let us know. I got to get this off the screen so you can see my beautiful face. But anyway, so tonight's show is going to be interesting because we are going to do something fun. The first thing we're going to do is introduce the rest of the panel. And tonight I'm going to do it in reverse order. Actually, that makes no sense. First is Jared, or Detective Linus von Stinklerberg.
Yes, Detective Venus von Stinklerberg to you, sir. Yes. Hello,
Jared.
how are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing? I'm kind of okay.
Yeah, that's understandable, buddy. I'm kind of excited for this episode because it kind of will bring to light a few of our differences, I guess, so to speak, on what we think is awesome or not awesome.
Yeah, because there's a lot of horror that's awesome. With that, I'll introduce Mr. Nathan Thomas Milliner.
Hello.
How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
It's very bright where you are.
Yeah, sun's needs to go down right now, so you can see my messy studio.
Yeah, that's why I have the camera pointing up at me rather than. I actually thought about pushing me back against the wall like I used to be, so nobody could see the mess that is the horror room. I mean, you can see like Boba Fett and Captain America, and that shirt right there is for a lucky viewer. Anyway, yeah. So after we introduce Seth, Nate's going to do something fun, and I'll let him do that as soon as we introduce this fool right here. What's up, Seth? Didn't mean to call you a fool.
What is up? How's it going? Oh,
Good. How are you?
I am.
Hey,
So,
Clint.
Pika. All right, that's one of Jared's guys. Yeah, throw those horns up. So anyway, we're gonna do something kind of fun. We're gonna try to do some fun things because I was told I'm a bad host. I'm not. I don't know. But Nate came up with this idea of reading some good and bad reviews on Amazon, right?
I stole an idea. Like
It's
one of the
fine.
podcast. Yeah, one of the podcasts I enjoy was How Did This Get Made? That Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, and June Diane Raphael do, where they watch bad movies and then they comment on them. Sometimes they love them, sometimes they really dislike them, but they always end the show with a segment called Second Opinions, where Paul will read 5-star reviews of the movie because every movie's loved, right? Every movie has fans, even the most hated or most criticized. So, and it can be kind of it can be kind of amusing to read some Amazon. And I thought I'm going to read both good and bad ones. I'm going to read 5-star reviews and 1-star reviews because they could be hilarious.
Yeah. And you told me to pick the movie, and I don't know why, but the first thing came to my brain is Zombie 3. It's a half Fulci film. and it's not good at all. So I'm curious to know if there are any 5-star reviews of this movie, like because this movie's really, I love it. And like I remember at Horror Hound a couple years ago, they had the Zombie 3 shirt had the flying head on it, and it was like glow in the dark, and it called to me. I had to get it, and I have it. But yeah, what do you got for this one?
Okay, they're not the greatest, but I do have some. This one's a 5-star review for Zombie 3.
Oh my god! Yes.
Wow.
I'm excited.
This movie is beautiful because it goes from a normal citizen to a zombie, and the protagonist is a radio communicator, and the whole movie is really beautiful.
Oh. I appreciate that.
I don't really know what that means.
I don't know. I
All right.
appreciate that, though.
Here's another 5-star review. Good. That's it. Okay.
That works.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a
Short and to the point.
5-star review titled "Friggin' Sweet Movie." There are great zombie films. 28 Days Later, Dawn of the Dead, and there are zombie films that are so bad that they are great. This film is one of the latter. Every bit as entertaining as anything Romero has directed.
What?
Yeah, I like the last line.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay. And now for the 1-star review.
Yes, here we go.
Thank you.
Now I'm happy.
This is titled, "I usually put in a clever quote from film, but none exist." Okay. I knew I was in trouble when I had to adjust the brightness setting of my new flat screen, mind you, television, just to see the night action. This film is bad, not good bad like Zombie or Nights of Terror, but bad in a Ishtar, Kevin Costner is Wyatt Earp or Anne Heche starring in sort of way.
Oh my god.
It's a ripoff of Crazies and Dawn with very little actual shock or gore and no nudity. Sigh.
True.
And let's face it,
Sorry.
half the reason these flicks get viewed is to remember the golden 80s before actresses got all uppity and refused to strip down for less than a meal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a good review, I think. I mean, kind of a...
That's the one that made me laugh.
Yeah, was that the
Like women
that's
don't.
the worst?
You have to pay a woman a meal for her to derobe now.
Right.
I guess.
That's the rule.
Okay. 1-star review titled, "Do you want an action movie or a horror movie?" If you're looking for a zombie movie, this is not it. This movie lacked zombies in the actual sense of zombies. All it did was portray morons jumping around fighting zombies with guns. The zombies, when rarely shown, hardly even bite. They fight. Can you believe that? I mean, zombies are supposed to take a chunk out of your head and eat your organs and stuff, not fight you with their fists and use weapons and gang attack. This movie was really slow moving, had a very poor script, and contained terrible acting. Skip this one when looking for real zombies. This is okay. We got one more.
Oh man!
All right, another 1-star. It's the last one. Worst film ever is the title. Okay, if you don't believe that this piece of garbage is the worst film ever, then you should have your head examined. The acting is horrendous. The special effects could have been done better by a young Rick Baker. And the location, the Philippines, is very boring. There is nothing at all to watch in this film. I like zombie films just like the other guy, but this is boring. The fight scenes between the zombies and the humans drags on. If you can imagine some scrawny little Filipino wearing rubber slime on his face, that is the zombie. Predictable ending. Everything is bad. Grade F.
Nobody even mentioned the score and how wonderful the score is. It's not. Are me and Jared the only ones who have actually seen that movie?
I don't think I've seen it. I mean, it looks like Dream Warriors from what I can tell.
Oh, it is. No, that's straight up taken from the Dream Warriors poster. Yeah. It's not terrible. No, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
But I like it. There's something about it I like. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too easy on movies like that.
I really enjoyed the review by Mr. Misogyny 69 though.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Yeah, I'll just some of the, as entertaining as any Romero movie.
I mean, all right. Well, that was fun. And if you tell us if you'd like to hear more of these reviews, I definitely want to. We may do them like we're doing a show at some point on time on Serpent and the Rainbow. So maybe they can dig some up on that movie when we do that one. 'Cause we've got a whole. What about Flesh Eaters? That'd be a good one to read too. Have you ever seen Flesh Eaters?
Yes.
Made by Bill Hensman, the main zombie from.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
It is bad. They want boobs. There you go. And they mentioned Burial Ground also. There's also a movie, a zombie movie where they are wearing makeup. Like you can tell, it looks like it's a mask. I'm blanking on the name. Jared, help me out. They carry like machetes and stuff, and they come off of a plane at the beginning. But it's a time loop. The movie is it's a whole time loop. Damn it, I can't remember.
I also like the guy who said like a sign of a bad movie is and he's starring in ... It's just funny. It's very precise. I don't like the location. The Philippines, very boring.
Nightmare City.
Nightmare City.
Nightmare City, yeah.
Watch
Nightmare
City.
City.
10 years.
Can we comment on those? Because I should go comment on them. Like watch Nightmare City, watch Burial Ground, watch Flesh Eaters. Anyway, yes. So tonight, if you forgot, or if you're just joining us, we are doing 5 favorite moments in horror. Really, it's more. I just needed a title, so I threw 5 in there. But it's going to be a lot more because I've got 6 or 7. Jared's got a bunch. Nate's got a bunch. Seth's got a bunch. So we're going to get into that now. I love Burial Ground. I should have put the scene from Burial Ground on my list, Jared. The tit bite. But Peter Bark. Anyway, yeah. So what we're going to do is kind of talk about. I went just with moments because like I was stumped for most of the time I was thinking about this. I even asked somebody for some help and I got her pick on here as well. But I have pictures of mine too because you guys didn't share what you're gonna, your picks. Everybody's being stingy. So Nate, why don't you start us off?
We're gonna paint the picture for you. Okay, I'll start off. I'm starting off with a predictable, boring choice, but
can we review it afterwards?
Yeah, like, and what I thought is like you guys, you know, if we name a movie, anybody can throw out a scene that they love in that movie too.
Sure.
If it's not the one I pick. So for Halloween '78, of course, there's a lot of great moments, but I think my favorite moment in that film, as far as a moment, we're talking like not a scene, but a particular image, moment, a couple seconds or whatever, is the scene where Tommy is trying to scare Lindsay behind the curtain and looks out and sees Michael carrying Annie's body into the house. It's just a really chilling image to look out a window and see basically the boogeyman carrying probably someone who babysat him as well. I'm sure Annie and Lori probably babysat both of those kids at times. And so, to see that image, it was just a creepy image. It just sounded stiff and not like, it's just suburbia and seeing that in the front yard going into the house. It was just, I thought it was a creepy moment. Yeah. There's a lot of great moments in Halloween. Like, of course, him coming out of the darkness behind her and Annie's corpse with the Judas tombstone, the opening scene. Mm-hmm. There's so many wonderful moments in that one. And, but that was the one I kind of always chilled me. I think because also, they're watching the old horror film on the screen. So you get that music over it. I don't know. I just really like that moment.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween is chock full of moments like that. I mean, the Bob pinned up on the wall, and the head tilt. That's a great moment. What was didn't you say you had 2 of them from Halloween?
From Halloween, I have a Halloween 2.
Oh, Halloween 2
moment is the Elrod scene. Just that shot of him standing in the kitchen. I'm saying he's believed to be at large in Haddonfield.
Yeah.
And then ducking out. It's just a great one. It's probably my favorite movie it's moment in the entire franchise, really.
I mean, and Michael Myers ruined that fucking sandwich. What a dick. All right. So, do you want to kind of go back and forth with these? You want to do Seth? We'll have one. So let's hear
Yeah.
from Seth.
Okay. Let me know if I'm a little glitchy here.
Okay.
But I didn't really put these in like a ranking order, so I'm just gonna randomly throw one out. And the first one I'm gonna go with is it's kind of a moment, but it's also kind of a scene. It's from the very end of George Romero's Martin.
Mm.
I don't know which of you guys have seen it or not. Any of you guys?
Oh yes.
You have.
Yep.
So
I haven't
yeah,
seen it either,
you know, just to break it down. Just Martin is a kid who believes he's a vampire because of basically a mental illness that is running through his family, where they believe they have a family curse and that he's a vampire. He goes to live with his uncle, who really treats him like crap because he actually believes Martin's a vampire. And the movie ends with Martin waking up on his bed with his uncle standing over him with a stake and a hammer, and his uncle just starts fucking pounding that stake right into his chest. I just thought it was a really kind of shocking way to end the movie, and it was a really cool ending, in my opinion.
Yeah. I haven't seen Martin in years, and that's one of the ones I plan on rewatching because it's like I forgot about that. Now it's ruined. No, I mean I remember that like an ending like that is something you don't forget. By the way, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen any of these movies.
Yeah.
I guess I should have tossed that up before, but like, yeah, no, it's a really good scene. And Martin's one you don't hear too much about. When people get into Romero, they start talking about the Dead movies almost exclusively. So, yeah, it's a good.
I think Martin's his best movie outside of the Dead films, in my opinion. I really like Martin. I need to watch it again as well because I've only seen it like twice in the last, over the last 30 years.
Right. And the last time I watched it was in the mid 90s. So when I got my Hollywood Video rental card. So
I did recently buy it, so I have it on a big stack of stuff I bought at that convention and still haven't watched any of them because I just don't have the time. So.
Start making a list of shows we can do with some of those movies.
I'd love to do a Martin show. It'd be great to revisit that.
I need to get a copy. So it's one of the few movies I don't have. Jared, how about you? What do you got?
Oh,
you fucking dare.
I kind of have a mixture of like newer ones and older.
Pick one that's not Italian.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw my oldest one out there. Like this is just a moment. Like when we decided for the topic, we were thinking of iconic moments or iconic scenes of movies, and the first one that came to mind was Dr. Frankenstein's "It's Alive" in Frankenstein. Like, even if you haven't seen the movie, you've probably heard that in whatever, media, like that. Just that.
It's all over pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I always feel that Colin Clyde doesn't get credit for any of that. Like, he's got a great voice and look, and it's really a good performance. And no one ever talks about him. They always talk about Karloff. And he's just as creepy in many ways to me.
He was the lead of the movie more than Karloff was, in my opinion. I mean, his story is way more interesting than the monster story.
In the first one, for sure.
Well,
and he's got more range in that movie too, because he's soft, really arrogant, and full of himself. And by the end of the movie, he's very convincingly disturbed by what his monster did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump in on this, and I've got images. So because I knew what mine were. So my first moment is it's they call it the Splinter scene from Zombie. The Lucio Fulci Zombie, and if you don't know what's getting ready to happen,
you got to turn in your horror card.
Yeah, you got to turn in your horror card. Yeah, I do have my Blu-ray here with me, but basically, the scene starts off with her in the shower. She gets out of the shower, and there's a zombie stalking her, basically, and rips through the wall. And this is my Blu-ray. Oh.
Yeah, I wish I would have got that cover.
I had to. I pre-ordered this immediately when I saw it.
I wish I would have got that cover.
So,
That's cool.
yeah, it's such a great scene. It's like the first time I saw that scene, it fucking got me. Like, oh, I was like, oh my god, I was building a fucking desk with my brother-in-law whenever that scene popped up, and we just stopped immediately because boobs, and then that happened. So
Because boobs.
yeah, I'll circle back around to Nate.
Okay, my next choice is from the Hills Have Eyes remake. There's a lot of great stuff. My favorite whole sequence of that film is the whole spaghetti western Doug going into their fallout, bombed out 50s testing ground at house and everything with the dog and everything and all the hell he goes through. And there's so many great moments in that, especially, his fight with Pluto and everything. And there's kind of two moments that kind of are, you can't really call them a scene because they are like within 30 seconds of one another. But it's after he's just like really defied the odds and killed Pluto, right? Because he was really outmatched. He's about to die. He's begging for his life. Pluto's got the axe to his neck. He gets out of that. He's covered in blood. He's lost his fingers. They cut his fingers off. He's all this shit. And he reaches down and grabs his glasses. His hand's bloody. Very like Straw Dogs moment. But the moment I like that really kind of defines Doug's turn and and what Wes Craven was trying to do with the original story anyway, which is the savagery and like the tooth and nail to survive thing, is when he goes out. I think it's Greg Nicotero's playing that kid, the one with the head brace that was dragging the girl's body earlier in the movie. When he goes in, he catches him by the car and he hits him. He knocks him down the ground and he's standing over him with the axe. And he's about to kill him, and then he flips it to the spike on the back of the axe and uses it and impales it in his head. There's just that shot of him flipping the axe over to the spike.
Yeah.
That image and that what it says about the nature of the film and Doug and this twist, this turn of the passive liberal guy becoming the savage to get his baby back and get revenge, all in that one shot, says so much. I like that. That's my favorite moment.
Yeah, and that's a movie that we did a whole show on it, but it's rarely talked about in the horror community. It's not Halloween. It's not Friday the 13th. So it's we did was it the show? Was it we did both movies in one, or did we do one for each?
We did both.
Okay, so. I think Seth, you're back up.
Okay. Next, I'm gonna go with Needful Things, based on Stephen King's book. It's actually one of my favorite books from him. And the scene from the movie, I think, is actually an improvement over the scene in the book, and that is the fight between Wilma and Nettie.
Oh yeah.
So I saw that movie. I saw that movie when I was young, and that scene, there's something kind of like mad about it, but also kind of like fun at the same time. Just the way that they're going at each other with an infinite cleaver, and both accusing each other of what they think each other did, and it's just really, it's like one of those scenes that kind of stuck with me, my whole life. And like I said, I think it's an improvement over the scene from the book of how they fight. So
what was it that we did where I had to find an image of those two fighting for you, and it was like damn near impossible. Do you remember that?
I don't remember. I think the movie was going to make another one of our list, but then I changed it last minute, so it didn't even matter.
Alex, at the beginning of the show, Nate read off some reviews for of Zombie 3 for Amazon 5-star and 1-star reviews, and it's brilliant. We're going to do it next week for whatever else we're talking about. I really like the idea Scott Montgomery had of doing what was it? There we go. Flesh Eaters, because that movie's terrible. I'd love to see some 5-star reviews on that. All right, Jared, what do you got?
All right, so I started with something old, so let's jump with something newer. Okay, so we're gonna go back to another Stephen King one. The Mist.
Hmm.
The final decision in The Mist.
Yeah.
Hold on. If you haven't seen this,
Yeah. Earmuffs.
Spoiler. This is like the movie. I mean, the movie's got a lot of awesome creatures, but this, if you're not, and you know who I'm talking to, if you haven't seen this, because I know you haven't, stop watching for a second.
Yeah. For those that have seen it, they know what I'm talking about. That final decision when they're all sitting in the car, and he decides, hey, this is the best way out. And
Oh,
literally
the
less
way
than
out.
5 minutes later, like, what the fuck?
Oh man.
Had they just waited 5 minutes, guys? Had they just waited 5
Not
minutes?
even 5 minutes.
Not even
cool.
5 minutes.
I'm glad you didn't go into the spoilerific part of that, but yeah, man.
Yeah. That scene is like one of those scenes where I'm watching it and I'm like, there's no fucking way a studio film did this. Like, and they did. I was like, I cannot believe they swung for the fences and they released this.
Man.
And so many people hate that movie for that moment,
dude.
Yes.
And it made the whole movie's great.
Yeah.
That put it way over the top. It's kind of like I've talked about The Sixth Sense and that ending. And how Sixth Sense is a good movie, but that ending just makes it go,
yeah.
Like it makes the movie great. It goes from good movie to great movie because of one moment or one twist.
We need to do a show on The Mist. We have not done that. We should do a show on The Mist because that movie is amazing and definitely I'd love to watch it again. So it's my turn, right?
I almost put
That's a good scene. I mean, how could you not? I almost forgot about it. I was stumped today, guys. I was stumped. Okay, but I got a great one. This is from Dracula 1972 AD. So what you're seeing here is Van Helsing and Dracula had this great chase. Then Van Helsing obviously impales Dracula. This is how he fucking dies. This is the beginning of the movie too.
The beginning,
fucking wagging wheel. I love this scene. It's so ridiculous. Just bask in the glory of Peter Cushing impaling Christopher Lee, the fucking wagon wheel. I love it. That movie's so silly.
So I didn't even think about funny ones because there are so many great, funny or just holy shit moments.
Yeah.
That. That'd be so fun to.
I didn't think about that until I saw it on my computer and my saved images. It's like, oh my god, I forgot about that. I got to put that in there. So, yeah.
I was thinking about one. I know we're mixed on Mandy, but I remember seeing Mandy in the theaters, and when Nicolas Cage kills that dude with the Bruce Lee move like that, the crowd went fucking nuts because it was Nicolas Cage doing Bruce Lee, like some Cenobite or something. No, it's not on my list, but that was one I thought about. It was like this moment where in the audience we just all exploded and like, fuck yeah, and he snorts up the drugs and it's just wild shit.
Okay. What's your next one?
Dawn of the Dead, the original. I love the sequence where they're trying to get through normal life.
Yeah.
Like after Rogers passed away and they've cleaned up everything, they've buried everything, everyone, and it's just not normal. Like they're trying to pretend that they're got their little living room and they're having dinner and he proposes and she turns him down. But my favorite moment in the whole movie is when Peter's playing tennis on the roof and the ball falls off and we see that they're there still outside. They may have changed it in there, but the world's still fucking living hell. And that music swells and you just get that wide shot of the parking lot with all of them there.
Yep.
I just love that moment because for a while you kind of do forget oh, this is cool. They're in a mall. It's like paradise, right? They got it all to themselves. They got everything they want, but they're not happy, and the world's still fucked. And then just that little quick reminder, that ball falling down into the parking lot where they're at is like that. Oh yeah, it's still the end of the world, isn't it? Okay.
So I mean I love that scene. There's a lot of intensity in Ken Foree's face when he's doing that too. Like. I think he's very underrated, especially in that scene. I have one from Dawn of the Dead too. I may as well just throw it out there now, rather than circle back around.
Do it.
This scene.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, he fucking takes a chunk out of her neck and then her arm. But like, the thing is, again, this scared me for decades. So like, the adults in the house were all watching Dawn of the Dead, and I was like 3, and they were like, oh, they were like all excited about it, like it was a party movie or something like that. And I sneak up and look over the steps, and I see that happen, and I'm like, I that fucking destroyed my 3-year-old mind forever. And then like, so Dawn of the Dead was always like one of those movies that was like, I'm never watching that one because of that scene. No, of course, it's one of my favorite movies ever.
You can't have you have rose-colored glasses at that point.
Yeah,
It's
but I love that scene.
That movie's
You
filled
can't
with
have
great
those.
moments.
Mhm.
The elevator opening and Flyboy the
Yeah.
zombie reveal, and
I love that.
I love the part where Peter and Roger are going up and down JCPenney's trying to get them, like they're having it fun, and Roger's sliding down the escalator and all that stuff. But it was I had such a fun. I've always had this love for movies that take place in malls or stores. Like I love like Career Opportunities and Mallrats.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah,
not
just,
the whole thing, but
or even like Jackie Brown when they're at the mall. Like
Yeah.
a movie I wanted to direct, if I could buy the rights to something, is Elmore Leonard, who wrote Jackie Brown, wrote a book called Swag, and it also involves a heist situation in a mall. And I would love to make that one, but someone else is supposedly writing it and got the rights to it. I'm surprised it hasn't been made because it's been around for like 3 decades or so, or for 4 decades.
Well, make your own mall movie. You got a mall out there, don't you?
Yeah.
Mallrats.
I was gonna say there's a few malls left out there somewhere.
We have a good.
They're all
Well, it's
dying.
not good, but we have one that's still pretty active here. St. Clair Square. What up? Okay, who's next? I lost track already. Seth or Jared? Jared. Seth. I
yeah.
don't care. One of you guys go.
I think it's Seth.
Okay.
I also had one from The Mist.
Oh, okay.
But I almost did the end scene, but another scene or moment actually I really like is when Ollie shoots Mrs. Carmody. I clapped, I stood up, and I cheered. I don't get emotionally involved in movies like that, but I wanted to go out and celebrate after. So yeah, that was a good moment.
Crack one open. Yeah.
Brava, sir.
You gotta admit though. You gotta admit she's a great character though, man.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful villain.
Yeah.
Man, where'd Jared go? It's his turn. Let's go again. Actually, before you go, hey, you know what you can do right now if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube that will really help us out? Hit the like button. Just like this post because it'll travel further that way if you like. Maybe even share it. If you do anything like that, please do that. Share, like. It goes into the algorithm that way so more people can see us. Okay. Jared's back.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, we must.
Go now.
We must. I'm trying to keep my moments and my scenes separate, but I already started with my moments. Okay, so I'm going to do another scene. The lawnmower scene in the third part of Dead Alive. Yes.
Yes, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That movie
we
is
should
so
probably talk about.
bonkers. Peter Jackson is amazing, and he needs to just remember his roots a little bit. One time. I need him to go back one time.
That would be fun to see.
Just do it one more time.
If you talk about scenes though from that movie, that dinner scene is really fucked up.
Yes.
So.
All those
Sorry,
gags
go
in
ahead,
that
man.
movie are so amazing.
Yeah.
All those ideas. Isn't that's I always get that and Cemetery Man mixed up, but it's Dead Alive where the guy says, "I kick ass for the Lord."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The priest. He's a priest. I kick ass for the Lord.
Kick ass for the Lord.
Cemetery Man's another one that's got some great scenes too.
Yes, it does.
All right. Is it my turn then again? I'm gonna get basic for my next 2, maybe next 3. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do this. So, my friend Sherry, she suggested this and it's the end scene and
Oh,
Carrie.
yeah.
That moment where
Yep.
you don't expect it to happen, but all of a sudden that fucking bloody hand pops out. Oh, that's a great jump scare, great moment in the movie. I mean, another great movie with great moments in it, like
Oh,
the
definitely.
prom, especially, and anything that has to do with Piper Laurie in that movie is fantastic. So
My favorite moment in Carrie is when she finally stands up to her mom and she's sitting there in the window or they're inside the house. She goes, "I'm going, Mama."
Mhm.
And ain't nothing you can do about it. Or
Yeah.
sorry, ain't nothing I ain't got nothing else to say about it. So it's just fucking great because she finally stands up to her and she's scary. I mean, I think she scares her mother in that moment. Like, who the fuck is this? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really solid pick. I was stumped. Then I started looking at pictures I had on my computer still, like this one, and like I got overwhelmed. So anyway, Nate, back to you, man.
That's interesting that you made that choice because I actually watched the episode of the Films That Made Us about the Friday the 13th movie, and Sean Cunningham made a reference to that hand popping up at the end of Carrie.
Well, they did.
And we probably wouldn't have that scare at the end with
Yep.
Jason at the end of the first Friday the 13th had that not happened in Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because he steals from
uh,
everybody.
John Carpenter and Brian De Palma are looking for their checks.
Right.
Okay, my next one is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is another one full of fucking great moments.
Oh, yeah.
One I have to mention, this isn't the one I picked, but one I love that I don't hear people talk about is the guy sitting in the tire at the graveyard rambling where he says, "I see things." They think he's an old man talking. They tell him that, I just there's something creepy about that dude. And
damn, so Sean Cunningham should be paying Toby Hooper too.
But my favorite moment, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is when Kurt gets hit and that door slams shut. I mean, it's just one of the greatest moments in horror history.
Between that scene
and then you cut right out to Pam in that shot, her walking up to the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that whole sequence, that whole 2-minute sequence.
Her in the bone room always gets me. And then, like when he catches her like in midair and pulls her back, both of those scenes are my two favorite scenes in that movie. I didn't want to take one from Texas Chainsaw because you took the best one.
I was going to say the only one that I could think of that was that iconic would be the meat hook scene,
which is part of that sequence. Yeah. Everybody swears it goes into her back. It doesn't. They're that Toby Hooper was that good. All right, Sethy, you have awoken. It's your turn.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with Curse of Frankenstein.
Here we go.
So, watching it for the first time, I didn't realize just how differently they were treating this character, and it wasn't my favorite moment, but it gets to the scene where he's kind of secretly having an affair with his housekeeper or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's a different turn. But then later on, when she's trying to like either blackmail him or get him to do something, and he like intentionally throws her in the room with the monster to have her killed. I thought that was just a kind of a surprising moment, and really established Peter Cushing's version of Dr. Frankenstein as being the real monster of the story.
Yeah, a complete prick. Cool. Yeah. I prefer that to the original Frankenstein from 1931, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Jared, is it your turn again, or is it my turn? I don't remember.
I think it's my turn again.
I'm running out.
So the next few that I have might come off as cliche. So I'm just going to throw this out there. What is the biggest moment that comes to mind when you think of The Shining?
The door. Yeah. The bathroom door scene.
The Here's Johnny part.
Yeah.
Oh, really? For me, it'd be the hallway scene with the blood coming down and
the horror elevator part.
Yeah.
Almost. Go ahead, Seth.
That's in my head from earlier.
From The Shining. The giant teddy bear. No. Well, honestly, it would be the shower scene, because that was the scene that got me when I was a kid. You know, I told you guys before, ghost movies don't normally have an effect on me, but that scene really terrified me when I saw it as a kid. So
Creepy
that
old
would be
lady.
the scene I would go with that. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Like, I was trying to think of moments from The Shining. I didn't pick one because there's so many. But the scene that terrified me when I saw it was when he comes around that big wheel and the twins are standing there at the hallway.
Yeah,
that was what I was actually going to end it with. That was my moment. Was come play with us, Danny.
Yeah, fucking creepy as hell.
So,
the scene I almost picked though was going to be between this conversation with Lloyd at the bar, which I really love, but it's kind of a scene, not as moments. But I also really love when he's walking Wendy up the stairs when he's threatening her with the bat. But that's a scene too. But the moment that's really chilling is when she's looking and reading and you hear him go, "How do you like it?" And he's right behind her and she jumps, and it's like that moment right there. How do you like it? Is a creepy moment because now we all know he's crazy. And
that one scene where Danny goes in the bedroom and he's sitting in the bed, you know, that I really like that scene quite a bit too. There's a lot of great scenes that are just kind of creepy that, you know, kind of like you don't really like think about it, but if you think about it, it's like, fuck, man, especially if you know the movie, you know.
It's a very scary scene. I mean, because it's just dad, and you can tell he's afraid of him.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's really like, come over here for a second. That shouldn't scare a kid. He's like, come here for a minute. He doesn't want to go over there, but he does. Yeah.
Jared, I have a question for you. Just say this with one word, okay? Do you want guts or tears?
Tears.
Okay, that's harder. Okay. Anyway.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, the other one's much easier.
Okay.
Let me see. I got something for you though. So I got both. So you want to just do this one real fast? Since
if you got it, I can just run with it.
Let's run with it.
So another one that's on my list is a moment of another Fulci film, is from The City of the Living Dead. Katrina McCall crying tears of blood. People who even haven't seen this movie have seen this image before. Like, I think that's why this is an iconic moment to me, because, I mean, eventually she starts throwing up her intestines and stuff like that.
But I have to correct you. It's not Katarina McCall, but
it isn't.
No, she's the lead. I love her. So.
Oh shit.
But yeah, no. But you're right. It escalates to this. So.
Yeah. Damn it.
No warning. Just straight up guts out the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I mean, people in horror have seen that image of crying tears of blood not necessarily knowing what it's from. But
later in the movie, she does have tears of blood when she sees Father Thomas, who's just, you know, the best. Who doesn't love Father Thomas? I love that movie. That's another one I think it's only Jared and I have seen.
I've seen it.
You've seen it,
yeah. You did the artwork for it. Yeah. I've drawn that scene.
Oh yeah. So for me, it's the buried alive scene where that's Katarina McCall, where she's in the coffin alive, and they take the fucking pitchfork, or not pitchfork, the whatever that thing's called, mattock or whatever, and it gets so close to her face, and she's in there just screaming. I love that scene. But she's alive, and the cemetery guys just went on break, you know, or they went home for the day.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, this is why City of the Living Dead is king of the Fulci films. I somewhat agree. I think The Beyond is.
The Beyond, yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah.
They're both in the same playing field.
All right, so is it my turn? Because I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going to be going basic on you guys real fast. And here, I'm going to go basic. Jason's Resurrection from Jason Lives. You know I had to put this on there. My favorite Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah,
one of the
great moment.
That's not even the best picture. That's when he like gets out of the grave.
No, I love all of it.
And gets the spear in his hand.
You said scene, so here's the scene. But I was trying to find Jason and the James Bond opening, because that's even better. You know. All right, that's all I got to say about that. The rest of the movie is pure gold. I can't help it. All right, Nate, you're back up.
Okay. This is one I'm not a huge fan of the film, but I have to give this props because I love this choice, this moment. Last House on the Left. After they violate Mary, right? That's the last one. And they're all kind of disgusted with themselves. You can tell it's just this awkward thing, and she kind of just like cleans herself up and walks over and sits and vomits, and they're kind of, oh, it hits them. But what the moment I love about it is she just walks off into the water, and Krug shoots her.
Yeah.
So we see the first shot, and then we see him aim again. But this is the moment I love. It cuts to a little fluffy dog tied up in a yard, and it's playing, and then we hear the gunshot off in the woods, like the echo of a gunshot going off, and he starts going crazy and barking. We hear another shot out in the woods, and what I love about that moment is it's like, okay, you're so enveloped in this horrible shit that's going on in these woods, but right next to those woods is suburban life going on. You know, like her parents live by there, you know, and there's this normal life happening while this atrocity, we hear it. People would hear those gunshots. Right? Maybe they're mowing their grass or having a picnic, and
just down the way
there's a 16-year-old girl getting shot and killed just 100 yards away or something.
Really jacked up.
So the idea of that little dog and hearing the shots from a distance and from a normal life perspective versus what we just saw, that I always like that little cutaway. Just that Wes or whoever decided to do that thought to do that.
I like the scene where Mary's like getting ready to go out with her friend or whatever, and she comes out and she's not wearing a bra, and they talk about how she doesn't have a bra on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just popped in my head. Hey, what's up, man? Give us a like. We need the likes. Sethy, do you like being called Sethy?
Not at all. Thanks for asking.
My guess is no.
I will continue.
My next choice is from Child's Play 2. It's the scene in the toy factory where after Andy slams the gate down on Chucky's hand, he yanks it off. The whole hand comes off, and then he takes a stump
Brutal
and puts it into the knife.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
That's a good scene. Yeah, that's brutal too, man.
Yeah.
You can see like an evil. Oh God, I could have put Evil Dead on here from 2013. Son of a bitch. The chainsaw scene, man.
Yeah. Evil Dead has great moments too. We talked about the whole Evil Dead 2 where the whole room's laughing at Ash and he's laughing along. It's just so bizarre and wonderful at the same time.
Yeah, but the chainsaw scene, man, and the blood ran, that's the best part of that movie.
Chainsaw to the face.
Yeah. So is it Jared again? Jared again.
Okay, I'm going to leave a couple of my quotes, and I'm just going to bring up some scenes for the next couple. So I'm going to go just list a couple from this movie, Midsommar. The Edistopa, where the elders throw themselves off the cliff, was a pretty wild scene that kind of gave you a realization of what the fuck you're in for in this movie.
Yeah.
And then the burning building at the end, like kind of the Omega, Alpha and Omega, so to speak, because you weren't really sure what you were in for until you got to the Edistopa. And then at the end, like, I really wasn't sure which one had more of an effect on me. But honestly, it was probably the first part when they went up off the top of the cliffs and went over. And the dude still wasn't dead. And, like, they went over and, like, yep, you're dead now.
That movie, I was trying to think of a scene from that movie because I do love that. And the only thing I could think of, the first scene that really hit me when I went and saw it at the theater is when she's just found out that her sister's killed herself and her parents. Yeah. And she's on the couch just crying her heart out and he's holding her.
Yeah.
It was so, I felt her pain so much. And like the way it's shot, and I think it goes out the window into the snow, and that's when the credits start coming up. The music and the credits and the snow and her screaming and crying in agony. It was just, I felt it all over, which I didn't, I guess I forgot to mention Mother, because Mother did similar things to me. I could have picked the scenes from that movie.
Yeah, that's another good one.
But that scene, I mean, and he did it in Hereditary too. When Toni Collette finds out her daughter's dead, she's crying like that on the floor with Gabriel Byrne holding her.
Yeah.
He does a lot of parallel in those two films, but I guess, I don't know, Florence really, her crying really hit me there in that moment.
It's because she's an expert at acting. You know, that's an underrated movie. I think a lot of people still dog on that movie, but it's really, really good. I love that. So, yeah, Midsummer. I mean, those are all the key points for me. But I'm gonna go with one more basic, and it's this scene that Wes Craven seemed to hate.
Oh yeah.
You're all my children now. Now, the reason I say this for this,
that's from part 2, right?
Yeah, Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. It's the scene that, like, I think this solidified me as a Freddy fan. When I watched it and watched it back, that scene always got me. Like, yeah, because that's what he was doing, killing children, right? They're not children, they're teenagers, but still. I love that you were all my children now, even though, you know, Wes Craven dogged on it, but I loved it.
I love the pool scene. I love that, and I think my favorite part of the pool scene is how he just walks out when Kim stares him down.
When the grill's on fire, that you got the flame. And
he just walks out past them. They make but that movie was the first Nightmare. That was the movie that made me a horror.
Same here.
On that one, I thought about when Freddy rips out of Jesse's body, of course, in Grady's room. Has always been high up on my list. But also, you know, just that interaction with him at the stairwell, the first interaction where he grabs them and says, "We got work to do," and he rips his head open. You've got the body, I've got the brain.
Oh God! Well,
it was just whoa.
That's another movie that is not as well regarded. People need to realize that when Elm Street 2 was made, they had no playbook.
Yeah.
You know, so they decided what was the best story for it. But we're gonna have to do a part 2, a sequel to this episode, I'm thinking.
Well, that
am I wrong? You got so many that they're starting to come to mind now.
Well, like that scene, like you said, Nightmare 2 had no rule book, and really, if you look at if you don't consider the sequels after it, the movie makes sense. Freddy was lost. He was brought out of the dream world into the real world, and he's kind of like, I always saw that he's like a genie in a bottle. He's stuck in that house. And the only way out is by possessing Jesse. He needs Jesse to do his dirty work in the real world for him.
Yeah, without going too far into that, I mean, they had Freddy and they had the house. They built the story around that. So, yeah. Seth, what do you got, man? Seth E. Or Seth T.
Yeah, there
we go.
Seth T.
The next one I chose is this is a moment, more so than any of the others I've chose, but the end of The Crazies, when I forgot the character's name, but when the wife is hiding, of course she's pregnant, and then the husband hears her start talking, and he realizes that she's been infected, and it's kind of like, I don't know, there's something about that moment that it's like kind of like heartbreaking. It was a very crazy way to end the movie, in my opinion.
Crazy way to end The Crazies.
Yeah.
No, that is very heartbreaking.
I really love Romero's The Crazies. It's one of my favorites of his work. And I really liked the characters, especially them. And at the end, you know, I was really rooting for him. And then, you know, it's a Romero movie, so it's got to have this crazy ending, I guess. And yeah, it was good.
That's another one of those that just came out. Like I didn't see that one till 2019. Honestly,
after the remake.
Yeah, I never saw the remake either. Yeah, so I sat down in 2019. I was like, my goal is 500. I'm a single dude. I'm not doing anything else. Let's watch 500 horror movies. And I wanted to watch Martin, which I didn't get to, but I wanted to watch The Crazies more than anything because I had never seen that before. And that ending, that got me. The whole vibe of that movie, though, you know, it's got this vibe about it. I can't even explain it. But yeah, man, good call. I'm looking right at you, Jared. Can't you tell? Right at you.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. So I got 3 more because I did do 10 altogether. I'm gonna do one of my quotes. One of my favorite quotes of all time in horror movies is from the original Night of the Living Dead, and they're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yeah. Stop it, Johnny.
Like I used to hear that in my dreams, watching that as a 10-year-old. Like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. I'm not Barbara, but no, that voice would just still.
That line is the first thing anybody picks up from that movie. I mean, Reynolds watched it and he would not stop saying that when he was like 3 years old. They're coming to get you, Barbara. You know, walk around the house saying that to Helena when he was a little bit older. Pretty good stuff. All right, yeah. So I Blob sucking the dude. That's a good one. Yeah, Blob 1988 is a great movie. All right, how about this moment right here?
Oh yeah,
yes,
brains
batter up.
Fucking Clue Gulliver's getting ready to go deep by hitting Tarman's
yard.
head.
Ready to go yard on Tarman's
Return of the Living Dead is such an awesome movie.
What happened to that guy? I bet he was a goddamn cherry bomb.
Yes. I love that fucking movie. That's another movie that's got tons of scenes that we can time. We did a commentary on that one, I believe. So check that out.
Movie is full of it. I mean, there's like the first thing I always think of that movie is send more paramedics.
Yeah.
The zombie calling for more paramedics.
Yes.
I'm gonna have the outdoor horror movie night.
I couldn't think of anything for that episode, but you posted something, Ray, about what would be a great movie to share with your friends outside.
Yeah,
that would be one of them.
That's why I'm going to show it. Yeah. Also, I want to see Linnea Quigley naked in my backyard. That's the way to do it, right?
Tonight,
don't get us shut down.
We'll make love till we die.
All right, Nate. Let's swing it back to you.
Okay. I thought about this one earlier. One of my favorite moments in Vincent Price's filmography is from The Pit and the Pendulum. Barbara Steele plays his wife, and she's supposed to be dead. She's been having an affair with his friend, a doctor, and Vincent Price is kind of going a little nuts. They want to drive him nuts so they can take his castle and everything, her to inherit everything he has. So they're trying to drive Vincent Price nuts. Vincent Price's dad was involved in like the Spanish Inquisition, so he like had all this tortured stuff in his castle, like the rack and the pendulum and the Iron Maiden and all that. So he witnessed his mother, I think, slept with his uncle, and his father murdered them and tortured them in front of him when he was a kid. So there's a scene at the end where Barbara Steele, who's playing his wife, she comes back to life, and he's terrified. She's trying to drive him crazy, and he does. He falls on the ground. He's like panicked, and he's just kind of laying there. And the doctor comes in and goes, "Why didn't you wait for me?" And she goes, "I couldn't wait." And so he checks him and goes, "He's gone. Like his mind is gone." Right. So he's just sitting there. Vincent Price is laying on the ground, and she gets up in his face and just like, "Isn't it ironic? Your wife an adulterer, your mother an adulterer, your uncle, your best friend. Isn't that ironic, sweetie?" He just does this grin from this blank face. He just grins. He goes, "Yes, yes." And he gets up, and now he's like possessed. He thinks he's his dad. He thinks Barbara Steele is his mom, and the doctor is his uncle or his brother. And basically, he reenacts the murders that he watched his dad do. But that turn of his blank face and Barbara Steele up and it taunting him, and then that smile just comes across his face. He goes, "Yes." That was one of my favorite moments of the whole Roger Corman, Poe, Vincent Price stuff.
What you even want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vincent Price is a fantastic actor. He gets a lot of credit, though. He does. Seth Rooney. I got all nicknames from you, buddy.
Yeah. Wow, I'm honored. The next one I'm choosing it's a scene. It's really all about the sequence of events that lead up to it, and that's when the Invisible Man kills Kemp in the original The Invisible Man movie. Just everything leading up to it. There's just, you can imagine the paranoia that Kemp has, as the police are trying to protect him, and they think they're so clever and they got a good plan, but he was in the car the whole time, and then leading to, Invisible Man just sending him over a cliff, That was pretty cool stuff for a 30s movie.
Yeah.
Every time you mention the Invisible Man, I remember the rankings you did when you first started with us. Brings a tear to the eye.
Yeah.
How long have you been with us now?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Not really, but All right, J-Rod.
All right. So I got two left. One of them is a moment. I will save that.
I just wanted to show this off real fast.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Just because we talked about it for a second, I got it real fast.
Yes. I got two left, so
I
I will
have
do
two
my
actually also. So
quick. I'll do my quick moment and then my lasting moment after that. Next time it comes around, but this one comes from Jaws, and it's the Jaws reveal to Martin Brody.
Yes.
When everybody finally figures out what the fuck is happening. I mean, we've obviously seen the shark at once in the movie, like at full length, but he realizes what he's up against. We need another boat comment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is the comment that I think about the most when I see that movie.
Another one full of great moments. My favorite moment, I've talked about it, is the table scene with his son mimicking him. Saying, "Give me a kiss because I need it." I think every parent can kind of relate to that moment of like when the world is just beating you down and the kid's smiling at you, and you're like, "Just give me a kiss, and you'll make me feel better." I need it. It's as you feel Brody's guilt because it's just right after he's gotten slapped by Mrs. Kittner, who just buried her son, and he knows he's responsible. He could have prevented it if he had fought for it.
He tried to prevent it, but yeah.
Sean Sheridan has shown up.
all the way across the pond. Thank you for chiming in, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, so I have two left. First one, I'm not going to do them right in a row, but first one is the title card for this episode is from Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
one of my favorite scenes of all time, period, is when she sees her baby for the first time. And we don't know what it looks like, and she's like, what happened to its eyes? He has his father's eyes. That whole scene, I fucking love that. That's the whole movie. The whole movie's fantastic, but that leading up to that point, like, fuck, I love that scene. That's such a great scene.
That scene hits, but the moment that really hit me, like I felt it when I heard it, was when Roman stands up and says,
"Hail Satan!
Hail Satan! God is dead." I mean, like that was like, holy fuck.
When she walks into that room, we just did a Rosemary's Baby episode earlier this year, but when she walks in that room, shit goes down. Like I love that whole scene. Yeah, it's a brilliant scene. That's why I chose it for the title card too.
Anyway, I love Rosemary's Baby. One of my top 10 horror movies of all time.
We'll get to my list eventually, guys. Whoever wants to watch that. All right, Nate. How many more do you got?
I got a couple.
All right, let's keep
kind
going.
of combine my first couple. All right, next is 28 Days Later.
Yes.
I love them in a heartbeat moment where Jim is going through killing people and saves what's her name? Selena?
Yeah.
And Soldier's got Selena and he's up in the attic and he jumps down and just destroys a guy and she thinks he's one of the infected. And John Murphy's growing score that then it just gets to the electric guitars and it's rocking and it comes up to that point where she's got the machete and she thinks she's going to have to kill him because he's one of the dead or infected because he's in total darkness and he just fucking out of his head. And he runs up and she stops and he just, that was quicker. That was quicker or shorter than a heartbeat or whatever.
Yeah.
And she realizes it's him. I just fucking love that. The music and the editing and what's happening in the scene, the context, it was just so brilliant. It's my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah, it's a really great part there. But again, we're talking about a movie that's got so many great fucking scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I love when he exits the hospital and they pull back and you see all of like London or wherever he is and it's empty. I mean, like how the fuck did they pull that off, you know? And but yeah, that's that. Like watching that movie, going through that whole movie the first time I saw it, I never expected that to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, damn good movie. By the way, it's in. We're doing the March Madness. It is in the March Madness bracket today. If you haven't voted, so go vote on that. I don't remember what's going against. Go look after we're done with the show. And you guys, seriously, hit the like button. We want to send this around to all kinds of places. Seth, no nickname.
Yeah, I got a few left here. I'm gonna go with the ending of Invasion of the Body Snatchers '78. We all know why.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland, and yeah, it's a great scene.
Yeah.
But very iconic too.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a good movie overall, though. I was watching a show and I was watching Euphoria. Has anybody watched that show yet on HBO Max?
Not yet.
I hate it, but I can't stop watching it.
I heard it was good.
It's really good, but it's also like fuck, man. But at one point,
you love to hate it, basically.
I don't love it. I don't think I'll ever love it, but I appreciate it for being. It's a good show, but I like you'll understand when you see it. But anyway, they're watching it in that movie or that show in the episodes I watched last night, I think. Anyway, great fucking movie. I need to watch that again. Thanks, Seth.
You're welcome, buddy.
The other night, he puts up a random fucking Salem's Lot poster. I'm like, I need to watch that. So, he does that shit to me all the time. Just like this. I was like, sorry. Jared, what do you got, buddy?
All right. I got two left. One of them's my honorable mention, but this one is Jigsaw's physical reveal at the end of Saw, where Tobin Bell wakes up gets up at the end, slams the door on him like
a Leatherface slam.
We all watched that movie and we're like, what the fuck? He literally got up and just shut the door. We were all in that moment. Like, what the fuck just happened? One
of the finer moments of that series.
Yeah.
Couple that with when Larry cuts his fucking foot off. I mean, that last like 10 minutes of that movie are pretty intense. And yeah, I know it's not, those movies aren't for everybody, but you gotta admit that's a good
just
review.
Just the intenseness of that first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cary Elwes and what's his name? The guy, James Wan's buddy. I can't remember his name.
Lee Winnell.
Lee Winnell. Yeah. Thank you. Like just their banter between them, and that ending. Literally 1 minute of that movie. It's like, oh my god. We have watched something we have never seen before. Like, granted, we know what the Saw series now has become. It's totally different.
Always
now.
A twist and a reveal at the end, yeah. But this was
god, there's something going on. But I mean, that first one, that was where it was at. And I'm not gonna lie, that was an amazing movie.
Yeah,
for what it was.
All right,
torture porn and all, whatever.
Well, I think Saw just got too much after a certain 10 movies or whatever. So here's my last one. The final seconds of Lucio Fulci's The Beyond.
Yes, sir. That was also on my list for honorable mention. Yes, sir.
Honorable mention, man. This is just the bleakest ending of a movie of all time, period.
All time.
Love it. All right. Nate, circle back to you.
All right. Next one is from The Descent. And it's the moment where pretty much all the girls are dead and Juno's by herself and she almost falls and Sarah shows up after just totally 180 her personality and grabs her and pulls her in and like looks up and he comes back and like it's like there she's just bloody and blue eyed. Juno sees her, is like, what happened to you? Like there's just the way the music, the way it's edited, the way it happens, it was like this great little moment of, because the audience knows at this point what Juno did. We know that Sarah knows what Juno did. She lied about leaving the girl dead or alive. So it's one of those moments where the audience is aware of this.
And she's also aware that Juno fucked her husband.
Yeah.
By the way,
we know this. This is not the same as little meek Sarah. This is Sarah that will probably kill Juno, or as she does, fuck her and leave her for dead. So I just love that moment, just the look on Shauna McDonald's face and the intensity between those two, face to face in that moment, and us as the audience knowing that Sarah knows what Juno did on both accounts.
I was going to add that to my list as well. Great choice.
It's like a dream sequence, but I think, if I remember correctly, but when she's climbing out of the hole, she sees the light and it's all bones that she's climbing over. I love that.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of that movie. You are not allowed to leave. You have to stay.
Can't leave, Luke. You gotta hear my last ones.
Hey, hit the like button, bro. Anyway, I'm all about the likes today. Seth, you got any more on you?
Yeah, I got 2 more.
Okay.
So again, going, I guess I have a theme of endings, I guess, but Curse of Chucky. I love the ends. I love the way it ends with Chucky winning. I just love how he, what's her name? Nika gets framed for everything. And Chucky's being sent around. It was different for the series. It's like the first time that he doesn't actively try to get in someone's body and he ends up winning that movie. I think it's cool.
Winning that movie. That's funny. I like that. Yeah. He won that movie. Chucky won that movie.
He did.
All right. Jared, any more?
I just have one last one.
One left.
My honorable mention is the opening sequence of Scream.
Yes.
Really can't, do much better than that. Like Wes Craven,
I'm going to counter that with the opening scene from Scary Movie.
Or Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
I want to mash the potatoes with my little hand.
Yeah.
Another great opening.
My strong hand
is the Dawn of the Dead remake, and my favorite moment.
Oh yeah.
My favorite moment of that is when her husband's chasing her behind her car and he spots somebody else in her yard and goes after her instead. There's just a little detail like that.
Dude, how come we have not done an episode on that movie? I fucking love that movie. Dawn of the Dead, the remake is so good. I went into that worrying because of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, how much I hated that movie at the time. It's okay now. It's just okay. But from that beginning, they don't really do much. Then she wakes up, that little girl's in her room, in her house. Like, are you okay? And her fucking half her mouth's ripped open. She does that jump off the floor, fights the husband. I like the scene where she falls back into the shower. It's so real, and then she climbs out the window, and then she gets in the car, and he goes, pops on the windshield. It's like, fuck, man, this movie is going to be awesome, and it was.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
We get that, and then all of a sudden we hear fucking Johnny Cash singing. Oh my, soundtrack was so great.
Fuck yeah, man, love it. Love it. My last one is from Jaws 2. No,
I just had to drop that on you guys.
Thank you.
I don't have any more, actually. So, Nate, you're
go ahead. Okay. Yeah, my last one, there's a couple from the Elm Street, because I'm a big Elm Street guy.
Yeah, me too.
And so I'm going to talk about, we talked about 2, so I'm going to do 1, 3, and 4, because those 4 movies are in my heart. So, of course, the original movie has so many great moments and memorable seconds. My favorite scene in all of horror is Tina's last nightmare, where she goes in the alleyway and Freddy's arms are stretching and he's chasing her. He kills her in the bedroom. Also in that sequence is the whole him coming through the wall at Nancy, which is a great moment. But then you got the moment in the bathtub where he's coming up. And there's so many fucking iconic moments. But the one I wanted to mention was seeing Tina in the body bag in the classroom. It's just something so chilling about her looking over and seeing her in that bloody bag and then going out and seeing her body dragged around the corner. It was just really fucking frightening. It's like that movie has so many amazing images like that Craven came up with. In part 3, there's a lot. The one that always comes in my mind is I love it's just the moment. It's the moment where Nancy and Kristen and Kincaid go into the boiler room and Joey's tied up.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the screech. Yeah, he's untied. And you hear the screeching of the glove, and Freddy comes walking around the corner with the baby doll in his hands. I just love that moment. That to me was like just pure Freddy. He's in the actual like hellish boiler room. And got a baby doll in his hand.
Set too.
Yeah, it's just a great set. And then in part 4, it's a scene. But I always loved the souls ripping them apart at the end.
The end,
and it's just an amazing piece of effects and and creativity.
Listen, let me tell you something. All of part 4 is the best. Okay. That's obviously my favorite.
Hey, sequel. Anybody else out there listening? Part 4 is not necessarily the best.
Yes.
Anyway, I mean, have we ever like I'm like having like a blanks here, drawing.
Well,
blanks,
we had Lisa on the show, so
I know we had Lisa on the show, but have we ever talked about the movies individually? Because when we had Mark Patton on the show, we kind of talked about that, but we kind of got deep with him.
Yeah,
talked about his upbringing and
I cried a little.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we've really like. I know we did I think we did a commentary on the first one. Man, I want to go balls deep in all these movies, especially Freddy's Dead, Nate's favorite.
I'll do all of them. I don't care.
We did a commentary on Freddy's Dead, actually. Oh man, yeah, I love all the Elm Street movies. I don't give a shit anymore. I even like the 2010 remake. Yeah, go ahead and unlike the Horror Syndicate. Take that with you. I don't care.
Well, that's got great scenes in it. I mean, the whole the brain still keeps like the heart, whatever is what he says to Jesse about the heart or the brain keeps going.
It's an effective movie.
Yeah,
what they say, it's effective.
It's got some great lines in that movie. Just the whole, why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's just some really
People
good
hate
stuff.
it because Robert's not in it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. All right, Seth, what do you got?
My last one is going to be from Hellraiser when
Think about Hellraiser.
Kirsty is talking to the Cenobites, and as the Cenobites are talking to her, like they're like spinning around. I don't know. There's something about that whole sequence that's really cool.
Be honest, the thing you like is when Shatter
later.
You like when he puts his fingers in her mouth. That's what you like.
Well,
just their first.
Don't tell anyone though.
Their first appearance is just so. Everything about that movie is so full of moments, like Frank's resurrection. There's so many incredible moments. Or the one with the bed sheet, the sheet, body under the sheet, and the blood, and I don't know. There's so many incredible moments.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but the first time you see the Cenobites, all of them, that is a huge moment.
Isn't the first time you see Pinhead is when he's reaching down and picking the box up?
Yeah,
like his head's down. Yeah, it's just like. That movie, I've always said about Clive, there's no one like Clive. And the imagery in that movie was so alarming and so different, so bizarre, just scary. I think The Exorcist and Hellraiser are the two scariest films ever made, in my opinion. I don't think Exorcist has any competition other than Hellraiser.
Hellraiser is one that I stayed away from for quite some time, until about the mid-2000s. Because it had a kind of a reputation, but yeah. Would you guys suggest that somebody's never seen it, should they see it? Hellraiser.
Be prepared.
I'm just saying, I think somebody needs to watch Hellraiser sometime. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Well, you'll
Anyway.
know by the opening scene.
Yeah, I love Hellraiser. It's a top 5 horror movie for me. It's so many great moments. The one scene that I always like is when Kirsty plays them so well. You want this? Then fucking take it, and throws the box out the window. Man, I love that movie, and I love Kirsty.
Yeah,
mad crush on her.
And,
Oh man,
and Julia, great villain.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like her, in the second movie, like you got to watch both of them back to back if you've never seen them seriously, because the second one is just as good as the first movie. Yeah. Okay, Jared, do you have any left?
I actually don't. I'm good.
Nate, what about you? Anything left? Oh my God, we got through them all, and I think we're gonna have to do this again because we didn't mention this scene from Jaws 3. We didn't. No, but seriously, this was a fun show. I enjoyed this episode. If you guys liked it, let us know in the comments if you liked us talking about our favorite scenes. Maybe next time, instead of being surprised, I can have the images up because I really like doing that. I don't know. But yeah. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whose idea was this?
I guess, Seth.
I think it was Seth's. Yeah.
Why don't you like that?
Yep.
You don't like Sethy? Thanks, Sherry.
What happened?
He doesn't like the
You don't
nickname Sethy.
like the
I
nickname?
wouldn't like it either.
Oh,
You're the only one I give nicknames to for some reason.
I wouldn't like it either.
Jared,
I don't think his mom
what am
called
I?
him
What am I?
Sethy.
What am I? The new Keith?
I mean, in his absence, yes, you are.
Keithy.
So you're Nate's son,
Motherfucker.
you know. Anyway,
I
yeah,
want to see a
don't know-
test.
I don't know what we're talking about next week, but look forward to more Amazon reviews, like Nate did Zombie 3 at the top of the show. Remember to, if you can, support Vince DeSanti in his quest for making Never Hike Alone 2 to complete the trilogy. It's currently on Indiegogo. The link is in the comments. I should have put it in the description, but I'm an asshole. So, whatever. Next week, we'll come at you with a new show. It'll be Tuesday night, just as usual, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30, where I am and where Jared is. Kansas. Fucking Dorothy over here. And
Yeah.
there's your nickname. I got it, Dorothy.
We represent the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah, so I don't know what we're gonna do. We could do go back and do a movie. Thank you, Luke. Thanks for all the comments from Scott, Luke, Sherry, and we do have this. You guys want to do this? You want to talk about Serpent in the Rainbow?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can everybody watch it? Jared, do you not have a copy?
Possibly.
Who suggested this? Because if Keith did,
I've got so many movies. Like I have
I
to
know
look.
you do.
I'll have to look for it.
hold my beer. I'll show you my collection, bud. Like you did say, because I don't want, like, if Keith has, when he comes back, I want him to be able to talk about the episodes he suggested. So I'm trying not to step on his toes with his big ass.
We can step all over
yeah,
his hairy feet.
I recommended it when I was going through all the Wes Craven movies.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. So next week, if you want to join us, check out sometime before then The Serpent and the Rainbow. It's a really great Wes Craven movie from 1987, I think. 89, maybe? 80 something. We already did fucking Shocker, so we may as well do this one. Didn't we do Shocker, or was that a commentary? I don't remember.
I don't think we've ever done.
I think we did a commentary on it, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk to you guys offline about 87, 88, okay, about doing something Elm Street. I know we've done stuff
Did
before,
we
but
actually
goddamn it,
watch
like, Nate, you're
Shocker,
talking about
though?
these
I don't
movies makes me
remember
want to
doing
talk about
that.
these movies. I love them so much. And if you haven't seen, we talked to Lisa Wilcox, we talked to Mark Patton, we talked to Ken Sagos. Who else?
Yes. I would
Yeah,
love
maybe
to have any one of those guys back on again.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Like, we could probably set something. We haven't had guests in a long time, actually, have we? We'll figure this out. So I'm gonna end it right here. Thanks for joining us, everybody out there who did comment and like the freaking post. Really appreciate all you guys. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not. We'll be back next week with more Amazon reviews, and we'll be talking about The Serpent and the motherfucking Rainbow.